Hello, everyone. It's Wisdom Wednesday. Today, we're going to talk about growth, right? So, we're talking about growth today. And I trust you're doing well today. So, let's get right into it. Ah, I when we look at growth, and I don't know for some persons how they measure growth or how they know that they have grown. But we're going to look at some pointers as to how we can get there and stay there or know that we have grown. Uh, I've had persons reach out to me and said to me that complaining about persons and saying, "Oh, this person have been behaving this way, and this person has been behaving that way," and when in terms of expectation, we have looked. I think we have looked at expectation already. When we have expectations of people and they are not being met, when our expectations are not being met, we become disappointed. When we become disappointed, we become angry. When we are angry, we may become frustrated, and we become frustrated, and we are then now we're depressed, and then all these things. So I've learned from my own self that you have to alter your expectation. For me, it's something that I had to go through a process with. So for you, it might be the same thing where you might have to go through quite a process to really get there. Because for me, it has been like that. Because for my expectation, being a outgoing person, being a sociable person, being a loving and caring and understanding person, sometimes I think I have gotten distracted or carried away thinking that everybody is gonna treat me the same way I treat them, or everybody is thinking of me or may value me. So a lot of things surrounds that understanding, altering your perception, altering your perspective, altering your understanding, your value. Because sometimes, because you might not know your value, know what you're worth, know whether or not you are an eagle or you're a chicken, persons will treat you accordingly. And a lot of times, it's not that you don't know who you are and don't value yourself. But because of the heart that you have sometimes, you are caring and you're understanding, and you put yourself out there, and people are just takers. We have said that before, we cannot say it enough. People are takers. We find a lot of persons that they are takers rather than givers. So I've experienced that for myself. I'm a giver, but you have more takers than givers. So when I meet people, when I have association with people, you form a bond with people, people come in your space, and you realize that after a while, but they're taking more than they're giving. They never have anything to give. They're never available to talk to you. They never check up on you. They never find out if you're okay. But they're always coming with their problems. They're always at you. They're always at you, always at you, always at you. Realize that they are givers. And you might realize and stop giving. And you realize, but you're not hearing from this person. This person has disappeared. And you have to uh, understand now that you have to alter the expectation of people. Uh, so that's that. As I said, it might be a process for some people. I have had to learn a whole lot of things during my lifetime, but it had helped me and shaped me to become a better version of me. Still working on becoming a better version of me, because sometimes when you have grown and you are no longer at the level that people left you, there are two things that I realized had happened. You have been acquainted with person, you maybe be a friend with somebody, and they are used to you at a level. You have grown past them, you have outgrown them, and now you're walking and operating in your new level of growth. There are some persons who would want to behave and still treat you as though they know you, and they know how you would react, and they know how you would do this, and they know what is she pretending to be, what's happening. When in truth and in fact, you have gone through a process and you have grown. So even at that time, you still have to know who you are and be confident in the growth that you are now portraying, the growth that you're now walking in, because that's how persons are. Another thing is that because persons, you have grown, but because of familiarity, it is said that familiarity breeds content. A lot of times, because people are familiar with you, it's the same thing. They want to say what you're playing, what you're doing, because she's now this or because she's now that. She behave as though she's better than people. No, sometimes people are in fact eagles, but they are placed with the chickens. They have been growing. They have been wondering, why do I look different? There's a story that is called The Ugly Duckling. I don't know if you have ever seen it, but you can read it. So you have been placed to grow with chickens, and all you're trying to fit in, and all you're trying to be a chicken, you can't be it, and you're wondering, what's happening? Why is it that I don't look like them? Why does I don't think like them? Why don't I behave like them? Until that day when you realize, I think probably something happened, and you realize that, hey, there's something happened, and I now realize that I can fly. I now realize that I can see things from so far. You realize then, I cannot be a chicken because the chicken can't leave, can't fly. So when now the chickens are gonna say that, what's happening with her? What's happening with him? Now that he's associating with other people, he doesn't remember where he's coming from. Yes, you remember where you're coming from. You can remember where you're coming from. You can be grateful for the persons that have helped you, but there are seasons. And sometimes it takes a while for persons to realize and to figure who they are and what they are. And as I said, it's a process sometimes for people to alter their perception, their concept of life, and even to grow. So you have to embrace growth. I've said to a lot of people, as I said to you before, who complains about how other people behave. There are some persons who like to play tit for tat. And I will say to persons, pay that no mind, because guess what? Age does not determine maturity. And I've learned that for myself. Age does not determine maturity. So you look at somebody and you have an expectation of them because they are 20 years older than you, or they're in a position that is a respected position, and you now form an impression and form an expectation of the individual because the person is that age. You're expecting them to behave a certain way. If you do that, you're going to be disappointed. You have to have an open mind and understand that age does not determine maturity, right? So another time we have said that sometimes you have outgrown your space, and you have to be strong for yourself to know that if you have outgrown that space that you have been in all for so long, and you have outgrown the space, and you're now walking in growth. You're now at your new level. You now find yourself. You now find your purpose. There are persons who would want to throw stones at you and to say what you're behaving like, but you have to believe in you and to be confident in where you're at, right? You have to know where you go, who you listen to, who you allow to speak in your mind. Because I've known, if you have a situation dealing with, and you go to person A, and their belief is that you should give up, you should walk away, even though you might not believe what the individual has said to you, you are going to walk away from the discussion, from the conversation, with what the person said to you. Sooner or later, you're going to start reacting to or make your decision based on what person A said to you. If person B is a positive person and say, no, you can't give up. You have to try again. You have to go again. You leave with being motivated and so okay, That's how you're going to make your decision. So you have to know who you go to for advice. You have to know who you hang around. So if you are in the process of growing, you can't hang around negative people and expect you're going to grow. You can't hang around people who complain all day and think you're going to grow. Because whatever is in your mind, however, it's going to play out, it's going to come out, right? So know who are your influence, who you take influence from, who you take counsel from. You must have an open mind. You must have an open mind. I realize that there are so many persons who their minds are closed. They're not open for newness. They're not open for nothing new. They are so comfortable in the box that they're in. They're so comfortable in the space that they're in that they will never grow. For myself personally, there have been a lot of boxes that have been created for me to go in, and I've said it to my family because they are the ones that I will share things to. But because of this occasion, I know that persons like to hear real stuff, and for myself, a lot of boxes have been created for me to go in, and I have never walked near them, much more to go in them. From very early, I have held on to this concept. The best thing you can do to somebody that doesn't believe in you is to prove them wrong. I've held on to that. So if it is that you want to push me some more, tell me that I can't do it. Tell me that you don't believe in it and it is foolishness and you degrade it and stuff. I hear you, but you're not going to allow me to go in that box that you have created for me to go in. Because I'm going to prove you wrong that what you're saying is not true. So you have to have an open mind. I have known too that when there is a time for you to grow, time for you to outgrow the space that you're in, that you find that you become uncomfortable in the space that you're in. So make good decisions. Some persons don't make good decisions. And if you don't make good decisions, the bad ones are going to come back to, you're going to have to face it. You're going to have to face it. It is said that you are given 2 years, 2 ears, and 1 mouth. So you are expected to listen twice as much as you talk. Some persons talk, and they never listen. So make sure you listen. In this season, if you want to grow, make sure you listen more than you talk. Some persons don't have any filter on their mouth and on their heart. You have to guard your heart from certain space. You have to put some filter on your mouth. Not everything has to be said, right? That's about it today. I trust that this has helped you and that you will move on to becoming a better version of you. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.